would love to read about that in a future book.
There is a piece that I've written as a chapter in a book on the militarization of some of these in U.S. schools. So if you email me, I'd be glad to send you the citation. Okay? It is something that worries me. It congeals many of these movements and makes them into about national security. And that is very worrisome with the kind of president, I won't name his name, who is a warfare president. And that is increasingly worrisome in terms of U.S. aggression throughout the world. And as a dissident in my own nation, I would prefer that we treat China, as example, as an equal, not as the way our Congress and others. But I come from a family of internationalists. That was very, very important. And it's important to us, since we are here, not with you, to be taught as well as to teach. And I hate U.S. imperial understandings of the world. Seems to me exactly the wrong position to take.
Thank you for your lecture. I'm keeping wondering that if we are all living under some sort of ideology, or like we are immersed in some kind of ideology. In that sense, in that case, how do we realize and deconstruct the ideology?
I wish you'd ask a simple question. No, that's a very powerful question. One of the reasons I enjoy coming here is exactly those kinds of things. First of all, we have to ask, what is ideology? Is it just an idea in your head? Well, yes, it is often about ideas in your head. But as I showed in my seating example, it's incorporated in your very body. And that's Bourdieu and Althusser. Ideology is everywhere. It's not simply about here. But here is still important. So if we say, for instance, take my first example of Michael going to my office, typing this, but I've just had an invisible experience with the miners, many of whom are dying and their children getting ill, okay? And the environment being destroyed. Okay? So no matter what the ideas in my head are, I am living ideologically because I am connected in invisible ways to the relations of dominance and subordination of the larger society. Okay? Now, if we say ideology then is lived experience, some of which are textual, that I can read, the ideas go here, then I can ignore my lived reality of living ideologically. So I would prefer to think about ideology as a set of meaningful practices that are in my body, in my mind. But to say it's all about consciousness is to forget powerfully the real power of ideology, which is it is invisible. Though sometimes it is very, very visible. It's visible in what I call the absent presences. What is not there is ideology. Okay? So it's a bit like someone who's fishing and drops a net. The net itself is an ideological construct. So certain fish are brought up, other fish remain. Okay? If I think of ideology in a more global sense, as involved in any set of meaningful practices, that enables me to look at WhatsApp. It enables me to look at gaming. It enables me to look at people walking on the street with cell phones, crossing against the light. Okay, I mean this seriously. So we become our commodities.